How's this for an intro? I've got this for this kind of occasion.
I think it clearly points out what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. Got a poster behind me as well. So yeah, this is Mitch from Cozplayerz Assemble.
And I'm Tash from Kasai Cosplays, as I would hope you'd all assume. And today we shall be talking about Civil War and our thoughts on it and review and yada yada yada.
So this movie was made by the Russo brothers, who did the last Captain America movie, and for what I hear, they're going to be doing the next two Avengers films as well.
Yay!
So were you Team Cap or Team Iron Man? What did you go for?
Well, when it was being promoted, I'm just like, oh yeah, Team Iron Man all the way. I mean, I love Stark. He's like one of my favourite characters. But when I went into there, I was just there like, oh my god, I can't choose, because the movie isn't black and white. It's a grey area and you get everyone's point of views. But in the end, I ended up being Team Cap. So how about yourself?
For me, I just went in there not going for anyone's side. And I've been telling everyone this, like, if you go see this movie and you're not at least a little bit torn with both their points of view, you're a very, very stubborn person. Like, I saw both their points of view. I understand why, Tony thinks it's a good thing that they can be in check, and, considering he's actually worked for the government, so he wants to be in their good books, and Cap's all about the freedom of speech as well as trying to protect his buddy from getting in a lot of trouble since they want to assassinate him. I just like watching these movies as an observer. Mm. And the other thing I think we should probably say is that the way they promote in the trailers, I thought it was great, the way they did that.
Yeah, I really did love how they promoted it, because I was just there like, oh, Team Cap or Team America? Okay, then that's a cool way of promoting it. And like, you see everyone go, yeah, Team Captain or Team Stark, and it's just like, yeah, Stark. Oh, and then I went and saw it, it was like, oh no.
It didn't feel like an Avengers movie for me. It felt more like a Captain America sequel to me, which is what I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the action, and it was brilliant. It wasn't like, sometimes I'm worried about comedy and action like being too much of a mishmash, but they blended really, really well.
Particularly, I feel like that was the issue with Age of Ultron. Like, there was it was way too mishmashed, but with this one they did it really well.
Best part about that whole fight was what Ant-Man did with the truck.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was a water truck.
A water truck.
I think my favourite part in that fighting scene in particular was when he's like, I'm going to do something that I've never done. I've only done like once. And initially I was like, oh, he's going to do that really, really tiny one. But then he went big, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot he could go big. And then he was just like, yeah. I was busy myself laughing as soon as I remembered. I was just like, oh my god.
What about the character development? What did you think of that?
Character development, I feel as if like a lot of characters did develop. I think Ant-Man was one of the few ones that you didn't see develop very much. But like Black Panther, we pretty much saw his dad die, and it was almost like a backstory. So that was really good. So we got to see him develop. Stark was very dark. Yeah, I rhymed. In the movie, and that's part of the reason why I didn't really like him in this movie. Usually I really like him because he's like the comedic relief and he's funny, but he was really dark in this movie. But we did get to see a different side of him. So that was a good character development. And Captain America, you see the same sort of things as like, you see his views still, him develop, but not as much as Stark, I reckon.
Well, I really loved how they used Scarlet Witch a little bit more in this film, like Age of Ultron. Her and Quicksilver's role wasn't very involved with the story to me, but Scarlet Witch was really awesome in that movie. Especially, I really enjoyed that scene with her and Vision. I thought it was kind of cute that he was like trying to cook for her and all that sort of thing, because for people that don't know, those two are a couple in the comic books, so that was just an awesome scene. He's all like, oh, he doesn't know what paprika is, obviously. So that
I
was awesome,
crying with that. Yeah, I was just there like, I think Marvel's trying to give a bit of a hint to the guys. This is how you get the ladies. Yeah, I love those two together. I'm really freaking out. I was like really freaking out about how cool Scarlet Witch was, especially in this one, because you saw her powers definitely develop, and now she was like all like divisions. He's like, no. Yeah.
She's definitely my Marvel crush at the moment, that's for sure.
I don't know if I've got a Marvel crush. I mean, Spider-Man. Holland. I think he's got my heart.
Tom Holland absolutely nailed it. Like,
yeah,
he's the version of Spider-Man I've always wanted to see. I thought it was about time they actually casted a teenager playing him, which is honestly what I thought they should have done years ago. Like, Tobey Maguire never really did it for me.
No.
But, like, seeing his version of Spider-Man really brought me back to when I used to watch the 90s cartoon when I was a kid. Of, like, you know, he's constantly cracking jokes, like, when he's fighting these insane people. I thought he was brilliant in this film.
You've got him in line? That's so cool!
What did you think of his involvement with it?
I loved him. He was like everyone else that was sitting down, like, everyone else was like fangirling, and he was like the person in the film that was going, oh my god, you're so cool, Cap, I really respect you, I love you. And I really liked the fact that he was new to it, and he's not meant to be badass yet. Like, I was talking to some people, and they were just there like, I didn't like him because he's not as sassy as he's meant to be and that sort of stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, but he's only been in this for like 6 months, as they said. So he's still, like, learning the ropes. And I reckon when he comes back, as apparently they're saying, I reckon he'll definitely bring his sass out more. But, oh my god, I just wanted to mine.
Like, because they casted him in the middle of filming it, and I was wondering how much involvement will he have in the movie when I first heard he was cast for it. And I just love how, like, you know, Tony Stark actually brought him in because he's like, oh, I'm going to give you a new suit because yours looks like crap. It almost looks like he's hitting on his super hot Aunt May, so in this version, so...
I love Aunt May. Like, I was a little bit concerned by how young she was, but they really took the piss out of her being so young, and I thought it was really good with that. And I liked his suit in this one in particular because it was a lot more close to the original Spider-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I didn't like the fact that he technically didn't have powers. He had the web shooters. He wasn't actually bitten by a spider or anything like that. Well, that's what it seems to be going anyway. But we'll see how that goes.
I kind of liked how they got the eye movements going, just like in Deadpool.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm just like, they look like they're copying Deadpool. But then as soon as Stark, like, explained it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. All right, I'm warming up to this.
All right, so yeah, and Black Panther, he definitely stole the show for a little bit for me. I thought the way they brought him into it was incredible. Like, you know, sometimes I worry about them introducing too many new characters into a movie because that can sometimes slow a story down. But they did it so well. Like, you know, they didn't pay so much attention to him like in the middle, just in the beginning. They had to somehow slide him in, and they did that brilliantly. And his character, oh my god, like Chadwick Boseman,
he did
a great job. Yeah.
Like, I knew of Black Panther, but I didn't know very much about him, and it was really great to show, like, how he came to be with his father literally, like, dying, and I'm like, oh my god. But now I love him. Like, Chad did such a great job, and he's just like, don't worry, I'll kill him myself. It's like, whoa, okay, I'm loving this guy.
That scene in the movie was definitely one of my favourite scenes. It kind of reminds you of, like, why everyone likes the James Bond movies, everyone likes the chase scenes. It was a cool scene. And character as well.
Yeah.
Like, it was involved with the comedy a little bit, but just very, very subtly. I like that scene with Hawkeye when he's all like, I'm Clint, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm still really confused if he actually, like, has powers or if it's his suit that gives him those abilities, but I'm sure they'll go into depth with that eventually.
Yeah, I really want to see, I can't wait to see the solo movie of that. I hope it'll be an origin story as well, like mixed of an origin story and what he's doing now is what I'm hoping for. That'll be good. In preparation for this, you and I have been looking at a few YouTube reviewers like, you know, Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, the Flick Pick. A lot of people have been saying Baron Zemo, his character didn't feel very relevant. There a lot of people saying, oh, if he wasn't in the movie, you know, it wouldn't have been any different. I'm like, yeah, but do you guys realise that somebody had to stir the pot, make these guys sort of, like, you know, hate each other and all that sort of thing? You know, I think he did a really good job, like, interweaving everything.
I reckon he did really great, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that in the comics he's actually a well-known villain of Captain America's, and he's got a full costume. His purple costume with... Yeah, you have to look it up towards the ending with, like, this is probably going to be a spoilerish part of the review, but, like, the battle at the end... Oh, yeah, what did you think of that, like, in terms of what happened with Bucky?
When I was watching this, I was just like, oh, they killed off all those other guys. They could have easily done, like, another movie with all those other Winter Soldiers and stuff. And I'm just like, oh. And then they played the video of Stark's parents being killed. And I'm just like, oh no.
Should have seen it in the cinema. I was trying not to say anything, but I was just like...
I did like it almost like a small squeal of like a... And I was like, oh wait, I'm in the cinema with like 50 other people. I shouldn't be screaming right now. But yeah, like, you just saw all the emotion on Stark's face, and he was literally out for blood. And Bucky didn't really like try to defend himself, like saying I'm sorry or anything like that. He was more like trying not to die.
He's not really speaking for himself, but does he have any sympathy? Yeah. That's what kind of annoyed me a little bit about it. So,
and like that fighting scene was so hectic when Cap put his shield into Stark's reactor. I actually forgot that it isn't part of him anymore, so it won't actually kill him, and I actually thought it was going to kill him, and I'm just like, no, don't kill him, and then I'm like, oh wait, alright, that's right.
Movie was close to perfect, because of that, and like, especially like towards the end of it, like it's a very evened out fight, and you just see a lot of heart from these two guys, like, these two, they were close friends, and then at the end when he's all like, you don't deserve that shield. My father made that shield, and then he's like, and then he just drops it. It just shows that Captain America like has great respect for the people he works with, but he sees like what he's doing at the same time, fighting against Tony. He understands why he's upset, but he's just trying to do things that's best for everybody. Yeah.
Like, I wish Stark was a little bit more comedic. We definitely saw a darker side with him, but I reckon Rhodey definitely took that comedic spotlight, and although that was almost for only half the film, because then he got hit by Vision and then he was like paraplegic or something like that. And that hit my heartstrings. I'm like, no, I started liking you finally, and now you can't do anything.
A lot of stuff was going on with this movie, a lot of characters. Like, I do need to do a shout out for my for a friend of mine, like May Contain. You guys should follow their YouTube channel. They talk about a lot of geeky stuff, Gander and Soaps. They said, why wasn't Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, Nick Fury, and why wasn't he involved? And they actually did reveal on the Russo brothers actually did reveal this on Facebook the other day. They said we didn't want him to take one side or the other because it's not his place in the universe, and then we didn't want another. Is he still with the government, or is he opposed to the government but supporting the government? So that answers Gander's question, if he's still wondering that.
And another thing that I really liked and I want to point out is at the beginning of the movie when they're showing the footage and how, like, you see Hulk in the other movies, like, jumping onto the buildings, and it's actually, like, it looks like it's from a person's camera, and then, like, all the debris, like, falls on them. They're probably dead now. But I really liked that little bit more, because they could have just, like, used the footage from the other movies, but they actually went and took the time to actually redo that just so that it looked like it was from someone's phone, which was really cool. I liked that bit. Although one thing that really did bother me was the fact that the actual name of the film was at the very end of the movie. I was waiting for it, and I'm like, where is it? Is it bothering me?
Oh, they do that a lot these days, I've noticed.
Know, so, they have. Yeah. And it bothers me a lot. I'm just there like, it's not here. I can't actually watch this film until it's here. And it wasn't till the very end.
I think we've covered a lot, so what would your rating be for this film?
It was a really good movie, and I'm only going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I really had to go to the bathroom and I had to wait for the very end credit scene. How about you?
10 out of 10, I wish I could give it a high rating if I wasn't human. But I love the movie that much. Like, honestly, the first Avengers film was my favourite Marvel film for a long time. and I knew it was going to take a lot for another movie to actually surpass that. I'm actually really surprised. I didn't want to accept my expectations that high, but it delivered for me, and I just can't wait for Infinity War. That's going to be so awesome.
Yay!
Well, thanks for watching, people. You do the outro this time.
Oh, okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you, Cozplayerz Assemble, for joining me, and hopefully we'll do another one of these soon.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All good.
Thanks, YouTube people.
See you guys.